All right, folks, welcome back in. This is Off the Edge. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. He is Cameron Lynch. And today we are talking about week 5. Before we get into that, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. And also, we want to talk a little bit about our top performers because we didn't hit it on all of them. And I don't know if we'll ever hit it on all of them, Cam. That'd be 8 players that we got right. But Jordan Love balled out on Sunday Night Football in a game that I want to ask you real quick. Can we get rid of ties, Cam?
Absolutely. That was brutal. That Cowboys tie, Michael Parsons having the sack on Dak Prescott towards the end. That was good to see, but hate the tie. I was pissed off with Micah.
Oh, it's awful. I hate the tie so much. Shout out to Dak Prescott. He wasn't the top performer that we predicted, but we're like, yeah, I feel bad for Dak. He's balling out and has nobody to throw to, and he still balled out without CeeDee Lamb. So that man deserves all the credit in the world.
Hey, Pickens went crazy too. He's finding his groove, bro. It was a good matchup. It was a good matchup.
That catch from what's his face, Tolbert, was like, good Lord, man.
Toe tap, that was crazy.
That was nuts. That's what I mean. A big reason why it allowed them to potentially win that game. Obviously, they didn't win it. They tied it. No one won. Right? No one lost. No one won. Anyway, Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns, 337 yards. That one was easy. Omari and Hampton, man, the Chargers lost by 3 points. You'd have to imagine if they gave Hampton more than 12 carries because he had 128 yards and a touchdown, including 5 receptions for 37, they probably win the game. So not really sure what to make of that, but wow, he definitely was a top performer. And then your guy Derwin James is all over the place. I was not expecting Jackson Dart to look as good as he did. Doesn't mean Derwin James didn't show up and create some havoc, though.
Yeah, Derwin James was good to see him ball out. Of course, sacking the quarterback. He had a 0.5 sack, 8 tackles, 4 solo, 4 assisted. He's always showing up in the run game, pass game, at the line of scrimmage. We talked about this. He's an elite performer. And then going back to the Chargers, Jake, you mentioned Omarion Hampton. I mean, the rookie is crushing it. I mean, to have the success he's having is good to see. I hope he can keep this up, right? Because you have that sophomore slump. What does that look like? So I hope he can keep that up. He's been a really bright spot on that Chargers team. So hopefully that young man can keep things going. And then also you mentioned Jordan Love. I mean, his seam ball, Jake, is the prettiest seam ball that I've seen. I know I talk about it anytime I discuss him, but just sit back and watch the way he throws that football. It's been pretty impressive. Zero interceptions, so he's taking care of the football. I think that's really important. He has a great running back behind him. Jake, I have some of my top performers for this week as well. And I want to say this, Jake. Like you said, we don't always get them right, but I think we have to show love when it's due. I want to talk about Dak Prescott quickly. I was going to have him here, my top performer, but I decided to put George Pickens in here. George Pickens, Jake, he's going insane. 8 catches for 134 yards. Really impressive. 2 touchdowns. And Jake, these were like game-winning catches. These were like, hey, we need to catch. We need to win this football game. Of course, they tied, but he gave him a chance to win it. And so to see him dancing on the sideline, to see him finding success for the Dallas Cowboys is impressive. And we talked about Dak Prescott. We don't give them enough credit. Like, Dallas Cowboys, they're always on TV. They're always doing this and doing that. But they're they have a top-ranked offense. He's delivering that football. And like you mentioned, that pass to Tolbert when he was falling back and Tolbert caught it right on the sideline, dude, that's probably one of the better throws you'll see in the NFL. So Dak Prescott going crazy. George Pickens, my receiver, as my top performer this week. And Jake, I'll pass it to you. Feel free to share some of your top performers as well.
Yeah, no, I love it. Anytime I can give Dak Prescott credit, I will, because the reality is he's no different than Tony Romo, a quarterback that absolutely balled out, had no defense behind him. He's had a defense, but he hasn't since Dan Quinn left. So that's that. But I wanted to go with Dak. I'm going to go on the other sideline, though. I think the Cowboys win, and we'll get into that. But Justin Fields is going up against the Cowboys secondary. Enough said. I will be picking against the Cowboys secondary every single week until they prove me otherwise. Justin Fields had an interesting game. I thought he, on the stat sheet, looked a lot better than he did, during the game itself. But he's still supremely talented, and I expect him to throw all over the yard. And Garrett Wilson let it be known he wants the football, so I think we're going to see that My running back
and run the ball too, Jake. Sorry, really quick,
yeah,
running the ball. Justin Fields, he can run the ball really well, almost like
that's true.
I wouldn't say like a Jalen Hurts, Jake, but he's really aggressive running the ball. I love it. He's scoring touchdowns. He's doing a lot of things. So I just want to add that in there.
No, you're absolutely right, and I think that's also we'll call that. It's a top performer quarterback, but I mean, if the quarterback takes off and runs for 100 yards, I don't think we're going to knock that. So he doesn't have to throw all the yards, but I expect he's going to torch the Cowboys, and I think the Cowboys will win in a shootout at MetLife. But as far as running back goes, I got Trey Benson against the Titans. Titans can't stop the run right now. The Cardinals need to win a game. They got off to a good start, and then they played some good teams, and now they're 2-2. So I think they go back to the drawing board here. Petzing has to make it easier on his offense, and the easiest way to do things is run it through Trey Benson. Really good running back. He's got some explosives. I think he can get going against the Titans. I got Ladd McConkey. Man, this dude's been quiet. He's been so quiet. You got your guy, Quentin Johnston is third in receiving, right? Coming off like that, we thought he was done in the preseason, and he's third in receiving. Where's Ladd McConkey? Missing in action, AWOL, absent without leave. I don't know, but I'll tell you right now, the Commanders, they typically give up a lot of yards to the slot receiver. I mean, you saw what Trey Tucker was doing out of the slot against the Commanders, so I'm expecting a coming out party for Ladd McConkey in 2025. They need it. The Chargers are coming off a loss in which I don't think anybody picked them to lose that game. And last but not least, Cam, before I throw it over to you, I got my first Ram here. Jared Verse is going to go mad against the 49ers because you know what they do with Jared Verse? He's not just going to go against Trent Silverback Williams. He's also going to blitz you right up at the center. And what we saw that, I mean, he knocked Tanner Bortolini into the next millennium, right? And it was insane, but it goes to show you that Chris Shula is going to utilize Jared Verse in different ways and as a different, chess piece and move him around. And I think he's just going to give Brock Purdy fits on Thursday night.
Oh, he has to. I mean, Brock Purdy and this 49ers team, man, they're fighting the good fight, brother. They're not at the top of the hill anymore, Jake. Past couple of years, they've been going to Super Bowls, and they're not at the top of the hill anymore. They got Kittle's not there. Well, he's hurt right now, and so they're missing that. But Jared Verse, like you said, Jake, Byron Young's going crazy on the other side of the defense. It's time for Jared Verse to go crazy as well. He had a sack fumble last game, which was really cool to see. But I think getting him going would be awesome. Ladd McConkey, like you said, Jake, he's always been the guy. It's just Keenan Allen's back. Quentin Johnston's going off. There's a lot of things moving around for that Chargers team. And Jake, I want to shout out that Joe Alt, him being gone, has changed the dynamic of that offensive line. That's why that Giants game was the way it was, because our guy Herbert wasn't clean all the time. He was taking sacks, threw some picks, and so it was a long day for him. But Ladd will hopefully spell him this upcoming game. Trey Benson, Jake, Trey Benson is a good back. He went against a tough team in the Seattle Seahawks. That front seven is insane. I think McDonald's doing a good job, and they don't have to rush many people for that Seahawks defense. I mean, they just line up and tee off on you. So Trey Benson, hopefully he can find some way to make moves. And Justin Fields, Jake, I think the Jets have found their quarterback. It's been cool to see him revive his career, going from the Bears to the Steelers and now to the Jets. Finally have somebody that can play ball. Same thing with Dart as well. I mean, they had a nice spark there. And what I will say, Jake, is that Giants game, their defense played extremely well. Brian Burns played well. Sexy Dexter Lawrence played well with like an interception. So those guys are clicking on defense. Sexy Dexy. Yeah. A big guy dancing and doing this thing. So Jake, for my top performers, I want to show some love to Sam Darnold. We talked about the Seattle Seahawks. He's been playing football extremely well. They have a big matchup this week, so it's going to be a little bit tougher for him to have that success. But Jake, he's looking sharp. I mean, Sam Darnold, you got he looks a little bit like a Justin Herbert to me. Not the same. Justin Herbert's an elite quarterback, but Sam Darnold, he's peaking. He's finding his groove. He's a great running back, and Kenneth Walker back there. They have a JSN to throw to. I mean, Ohio State must be a wide receiver U, because those guys are making big plays, and Sam Darnold finding a way to make things happen. He went 8 for 26 with 242 yards, a touchdown and no interception. So at the end of the day, taking care of the football, I think that's really important. I'm going to go next, Jake, to the defensive side. Devin Lloyd for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, my man went crazy against the 49ers, doing a good job of stopping Brock Purdy. He had 8 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 2 picks, which is a big time deal. I know one of the picks was like a tip ball or whatever it was, but he had a crucial pick when he was dropping back in zone coverage and found a way to get the football, stopping Christian McCaffrey as well. He had a big game, and so I like him to have another one as well. George Pickens, like I said, he was my number one guy. I know I talked about him a little bit earlier, but it's good to see him finding success. 134 yards with 8 catches on 11 targets. So he's a baller. He's a gamer. We've seen it with him at Georgia going crazy, and he's finding a way to do it with the Cowboys. So those are my top performers, Jake, and hopefully they find a way to get it done this week.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
Jake, sorry. James Cook. Sorry, running back. I didn't talk about running back. James Cook. I meant to call him out. Jake, he's someone I think that's a little bit underappreciated.
I
you
agree.
see your Josh Allen. I know that offensive line's been going crazy, but just James Cook, he's kind of going insane right now, Jake. I think he's had about 400. He's second in the NFL with 400 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns, 117 yards last game against the Saints on 22 carries. So you see this offense is clicking really well because they can run the football. Of course, Josh Allen looking like an MVP quarterback, but James Cook is a guy that can't be overlooked. So I wanted to shout him out lastly.
No, I love that. I mean, I'm a big fan of James Cook, always have been. And I think when you look, this is a guy that's a little bit more built for the running back position than given credit for. So I like that because he's not just a speed back. Like, all right, you try tackling him, right? You see him and he's bouncing off guys. But yeah, no, I like that. I like our top performers. Let's not even waste time. Let's get into Thursday night football. We got the 49ers taking on the Rams, a rivalry that goes a long time. And I think in this one, the 49ers are banged up. The Rams are coming off an impressive win against the Colts. The 49ers lost a close one at home to the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that I think people need to start actually giving respect to, but we'll do that on this show. So yeah, I think in this one, Cam, I think the Rams are going to win 27-17. I think they're the better team with, a healthy 49ers team without, but definitely without. That's what we know for sure. George Kittle injured, Brock Purdy not 100%. Not sure what's going to happen with Jawan Jennings. Seems like he's been dealing with injuries. Brandon Ayuk will he's not going to be a participant in this one. We know that, and not really sure on the status of Ricky Pearsall or some of the other guys that got banged up as well. So right now the Rams have a decent bill of health. I mean, not having their number one corner and potentially not their left guard. That's not great, but everything else, all things considered, the Rams are learning how to play with what they don't have right now. And, man, they look like one of the best teams in football. And that Colts game, people look at it one way and say, look, the Rams should have lost that game. I'd look at it and say, wow, the Rams should have lost that game. And in the past, they would have. But not this Rams team. They found a way to win. So, they finally got Tutu Atwell involved. I expect him to be a part of the game plan. I expect Jordan Whittington. But yeah, Cam, what are your thoughts? Because I'm expecting a 10-point win in this one and maybe even more because I think the Rams are rolling and I don't like where the 49ers are trending.
Agreed, Jake. I think the biggest thing for the Rams to win this game is going to be to stop Christian McCaffrey in the run game and the pass game. We always talk about it. The man can catch, he can throw, he can do everything. What was it last year? He came back from his injury against the Rams. He threw for a touchdown, he caught a touchdown, and he ran a touchdown. So end of the day, number 23, triple team him, double team him. What I will say is the Rams have been doing a good job of stopping the elite running backs in the NFL. I mean, some of the best offensive weapons in the NFL, they stopped them. Jonathan Taylor, 70 rushing yards. And that's a pretty decent day for a running back, right? All given. But Saquon Barkley, only 50 rushing yards. So I'm not going to lie, Jake, this is one of my favorite Rams teams that I've seen in the past 5 to 7 years. I talking with my buddies, and I was like, this might be the best Rams team that we've seen in a while. I'm not sure if it's better than the Super Bowl team because, of course, Aaron Donald, like that's a trump card. Like you have Aaron Donald, your team is going to be that much better. But this has been one of my favorite teams, I think, that I've seen of the Rams, Jake. We've been through a lot when it comes to the Rams, the offensive line being dinged up. I mean, there have been a whole bunch of things that haven't went well, but things are clicking, Jake. I think if the Rams can stay healthy, they can make a big run in the playoffs. And I mentioned this. You mentioned this actually with our starting cornerback being down, Emmanuel Forbes. That's a big question for me. Is can he get it done? You talked about it last show. Can you tackle the receiver and not swipe at the football and miss the whole thing in general.
Clearly not.
Clearly not. I forget the receiver's name, but he dropped the ball. He was going against Emmanuel Forbes. He caught it. Emmanuel went after him, tried to knock the ball out, missed him. Receiver ran down the field and dropped the ball at the goal line. It was a touchback. It was great for the Rams, and that's why we won the game, because of the touchback. But yeah, it's not a great feeling, Jake, when our cornerbacks are getting beat like that. When the full defense is doing well. Cameron Curl, 2 interceptions, right?
He looked great.
I mean, he looked great. He had an interception to start the game and to end the game. And Jake, I want to look at this. I want to study this. If you start the game with a turnover on the first series, does that increase your chances to winning the game momentum-wise, right? Because Matthew Stafford threw an interception to Zach Bond, that Eagles game, and they had that momentum. They end up winning. For us, when we have interceptions, we have forced turnovers at the beginning of the game. Does that bring us success? But, Jake, I want to talk to you about the cornerback position for the Rams. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, I think that's where you could look at the 49ers here and say, they actually have a shot. And that's their shot. Now, I mean, I don't think it's a great shot to win this game, especially at SoFi. But if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to get Christian McCaffrey in space, because he actually hasn't run the ball well, but he's caught the ball well. And that's been his biggest thing. He looks like a legitimate top receiver. And so I see him, one-on-one with an Nate Landman. Can you win that matchup? I think he can. It's going to be a matter of, now if I have to put a safety on him, that takes the safety away from maybe a tight end like a Jake Tonjes, right?
Who scored last game? Yeah.
Yeah, and he scored a touchdown last game, and he's a big reason why they won against Seattle. So, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, well, I have you leaning this way, I can hit you the other way. And so that's where I think the 49ers are going to have to be smart in how they use Christian McCaffrey. I don't know who's going to be healthy in this game. That's my issue. Kendrick Bourne, I think, is a quality receiver, although he had a nasty drop over the middle. That would have, been a huge first down conversion. But, I feel like when it comes to the 49ers, the only way they are winning this game is if they get pressure on Matthew Stafford. Stafford holds the ball unusually long. He hasn't really done that this year. This is the longest I think he held it all year. But I think they were looking to expand the playbook a little bit more. And then I think, those cornerbacks, and I'll tell you right now, I think Kobe Durant has played very well. And I think Darius Williams has played well in spurts. I don't think Emmanuel Forbes is ready to be out there. I think he's immensely talented. I think he has plenty of potential. But currently, what I've watched, and I'm a huge Emmanuel Forbes fan, but I'm going to call it real here. I don't think Emmanuel Forbes is ready to be a starting cornerback on a Super Bowl caliber team. I just don't. I think
respectfully.
Yeah, I think naturally, if he comes in, a guy gets hurt, there you go. But I wouldn't push the envelope. So, but yeah, that to me is how the 49ers will win the game if they are able to take advantage of that. Because if it's a division game, close game, division game, that won't surprise me. But I do think the Rams just have too much, and they're rolling right now.
Puka Nakua's going crazy.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I wanted to actually mention that real quick before we move on to the next game here. Aaron Donald, you mentioned how they don't have an Aaron Donald. I'm going to actually say something you're not expecting. I believe they do have an Aaron Donald, and it's not Jared Verse. It's Puka Nacua on the offensive side. I think Puka Nacua is so much better than everybody else. It's not even funny. The only one that is actually has an argument to be better than Puka Nacua is either Myles Garrett, because I think he's the best defensive player in the league, or Josh Allen. Those are the three best players in the National Football League. Players. I'm not talking about receiver. He's the number one receiver. Find me a guy that's going to play tight end. Did you know they ran 11 personnel like 80-something% of the time, and they could do that because Puka Nacua is basically being utilized as a tight end? Who else are you doing that with? Scrawny Justin Jefferson? No.
Jake, Xavier Howard. He had Xavier Howard in a blender, my guy. I mean,
in a blender.
To be honest, Jake, that was one of the best performances I've seen Puka put on tape, to be honest. I mean, of course, he has crazy catches, game-winning catches, one-handers, whatever that is, but he put together a teach tape, all types of routes, all types of productivity. I mean, they couldn't stop the guy. And you think about week one, right, when the Texans were going after his head, he's bleeding from his helmet. he's starting to put things together. And I love what you said. I mean, he's a top 3 player in the NFL. I totally agree. He's one of the best to do it. And it's nice to see, Jake. It's refreshing. And you got Davante Adams on the other side, which is insane. And I loved how Sean McVay flipped their receptions, Jake. The first 3 games of the season, Davante Adams had more of the receptions, and there was a gap between actually catching the damn ball and dropping the damn ball. And Puka was kind of right below him. This game, they flipped it, which was great. Blake Corum, Kyron Williams, they're running amounts who were kind of a little bit closer. It was a complete game, Jake, and I really enjoyed it. What I will say is, for the Rams offense, they can run the football on this 49ers defense. I know you got Fred Warner back there looking like Ray Lewis 2.0, 3.0, whatever you want to call it. But Travis Etienne went off 19 carries, 124 yards. I mean, he was doing his thing there. So I think Kyron Williams and Blake Corum can do the same thing. I'm excited for this game. It's a good matchup, change of the tides between the 49ers dominating and now the Rams dominate. I love it.
Yeah, it should be a fun game for sure. It's a great Thursday night football game, and once again, the best division in football are dominating, right? Because last week you had the NFC West on Thursday night, and this week it's the NFC West on Thursday night. So you love to see that. But we move on to the London game, not Dublin, London. But the Vikings, they're just staying out there, I guess, because they played Dublin last week, and now they're back and they're in London playing at 9:30 a.m. on the East Coast against the Browns. Hey, Dylan Gabriel, congratulations, you're making your debut. Also, congratulations, you not only have to play a tough Vikings team, not only do you have to make your debut in another country, but on top of that, you have to go against Brian Flores' defense.
Oh man, it's gonna be a tough day for him, Jake. I will say that. I think he'll be ready to go. I think he has Joe Flacco. He's a lot of pressure on him already. Right, Shador behind him, licking his chops, ready to go. I think he's gonna perform pretty well in this game. But Brian Flores is going crazy. Carson Wentz is clicking. Justin Jefferson, Addison, he had 100 yards catching. I mean, that Vikings team is clicking, so it's gonna be a good matchup.
Yeah. Do you know who's starting at left tackle for them?
Who was that?
KT Leviston.
KT.
Do you know who that is?
No. Who is KT?
He was drafted by the Rams. They traded him to the Browns. If the Browns didn't trade for KT Leviston, I don't even know where they'd be right now. I'm not even saying he's great, because he's not. I like him, but he's not great. I mean, we'll be honest here. Leviston is very new. Okay. He gave up 2 pressures last week. He wasn't bad, but he gave up 2 pressures last week. And, he played 40 snaps, but he's likely going to be the guy at left tackle. They're banged up. And if Leviston is at left tackle, guess who he's going to be seeing? Jonathan Grenard. And that was the guy that I was going to have as my top performer, and I'll probably regret not having him because he'll probably have a better game than Jared Verse by virtue of this matchup. But I had to say Jared Verse. Anyway, yeah, a tough test for Leviston. And the thing here, though, to be fair, Gabriel, that would not be his blind side because he's a lefty quarterback. So actually, it'll be Cornelius Lucas, who has given up more pressures than anybody in the NFL.
Oh no, that's not good. Hand the damn ball off. Hand the damn ball off, right? Quinshon Judkins, he'll save you. You want your quarterback to be healthy at the end of the day. Quarterback is currency, so we don't want Dylan Gabriel to be knocked out of the game his first game back in a foreign country. Jake, going to the hospital in a foreign country because his left tackle couldn't block his ass off. It wouldn't be great. So give the ball to Quinshon Judkins. Jake, he's been going crazy. Like I said, he went 21 for 81 last game. I think he's the best offensive weapon on that Browns team. I know you got Jerry Jeudy. I know you got the tight end in Njoku, but I think he's one of the best weapons that they have.
Yeah. I like Judkins a lot. I agree. They're going to have to get him going. This is not going to be easy for Gabriel. This is a brutal. Honestly, I don't know what they're thinking. Be like, it really took you guys to go out of the country to make Dylan Gabriel your starting quarterback. But yeah,
long flight, a lot of time to think, Jake.
apparently, Isaiah Rodgers is having a great year on the outside. He's going to be a tough matchup. I mean, we already mentioned him. It's a tough secondary. It's just a tough defense, you know.
Yeah.
And I've been really impressed with the job that Eric Wilson at linebacker has done for filling in for Blake Cashman. So it's not going to be an easy matchup. I'm going to take the Vikings in this one. I just feel like it's just so obvious. I know things can be weird in London, but I don't think Dylan Gabriel's that good. That's the problem.
He gets the ball out quickly, Jake. I did see that in the preseason game. He's getting the ball out really quickly, and that can be an issue because people watching film know that, and so they're going to be able to jump pretty much a lot of the routes, especially those quick out throws. Rookie quarterback, they want the ball out of his hands quickly so it doesn't get killed. But yeah, it'll be an interesting one, Jake. I think, like you said, I think the Vikings get the dub on this one. I think them losing to the Steelers was a little painful. They got sacked, I think 6 times it was. So that offensive line for the Vikings isn't really cutting it. So I think they'll have to tighten.
You're right.
I mean, bro, they got torched. I mean,
Wentz tried, man. I thought he looked good, and that offensive line failed him at the end. I mean, like you said, he just sacked constantly. So
yeah, that's that. You can't have that with Carson Wentz. I mean, and what I will say, Jake, is different from. I know I always bring up Bryce Young, the Panthers, and different things. When you have even the Titans, you have bad offensive lines. I'm not saying the Vikings' offensive line is bad, but this is how it's supposed to look. When you have a great quarterback, a good quarterback with a not so great offensive line, you're supposed to perform the way that Carson Wentz is performing. To be fair, he does have Justin Jefferson, one of the top receivers in the league, but he's doing a good job with what he has, and that defense is giving him the ball back. So that's always a win-win there.
No, I like that. So I'm going to go Vikings 31-14. What say you?
Vikings, I'll say 27 to Jake. I mean, they might get 10. they might get 10. I think they have to the Browns have to rely on Andre Schmidt a lot, Syracuse guy, to kick the ball through the uprights. I know his career's been a little like this, right? Missing some kicks and making some, but it's going to be, I don't know how many points they'll score, my guy.
Yeah, it's yikes. We'll just say yikes. We move on to Sunday Night Football. Got the Patriots taking on the Bills. The Bills are wearing the all ice uniforms, whatever you want to call them.
The rivalry uniforms, swaggy.
I don't know who decided the rivalry uniforms. The Rams should be wearing the midnight ones because they're playing a primetime game, and the Bills shouldn't be wearing the ice uniforms in early October. But that's just me. Someone messed up, and it wasn't me. So anyway, we move on. But yes, what are your thoughts on this game? Kind of looking at this Sunday night game, I think it's going to be a good game. I think the Bills are going to win. The Bills are clearly the better team, but hey, we like the Patriots on this show, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Jake. I like the Bills getting the double in this one. I think Josh Allen's going crazy. We talked about Cook. He's been running the ball extremely well, so I think he's going to move the ball nicely. What I will say, though, Jake, is this Patriots team isn't horrible. Drake May has been throwing the ball really well. He's been running the football nicely, so I think he'll be just fine. What I will say, though, is when it comes to Stephon Diggs, he's playing against the Billies. What you gonna do, my guy? Because Jake, I haven't seen Stephon really find the end zone like that. He might have maybe one touchdown this season.
He just had over 100 yards last week, so he's heating up at the right time.
Yeah, at the right time.
You can throw on this Bills. I mean, we just saw, Spencer Rattler was throwing on the Bills. So
yeah.
I think Drake May can absolutely throw on the Bills. It's a division matchup. It's the first look the Bills have had at the new look Patriots with Mike Vrabel. So this is a new era. Yeah, this is interesting. This is not a straight ahead game. I'm going to take the Bills, though. I'm going to take them 31-21, but I think the Patriots are going to be in this for most of the game. I think the Bills kind of, let's say it's 24-21 late in the game and Josh Allen just runs for 40 yards and a touchdown to kind of just seal the deal. That's kind of what I see.
Okay, yeah, I'll call this game 31-24. I think the Patriots are going to stay in this game because of their special teams units. Marvin Jones, punt return for a touchdown, 87-yarder. He's balling out. So I think the Patriots are going to have to play 3-phase game. This can't be just a 1 or 2. They have to play every phase of this game. But the Bills looking like the best team in the league. And to be honest, Jake, I got them going to the Super Bowl at this point.
I do too.
Yeah, Bills and Eagles. Just the way that the Eagles been whipping on people. They should have lost. They should have lost to the Rams, but just the way that the Eagles are looking right now, that AJ Brown really hasn't gotten activated like that. So I like those two in the Super Bowl. But the Bills, man, they're looking sharp.
They really are. My only issue with the Bills, I think, is really just that secondary. You can throw on them. Benford is a great corner, but he's not great this year. Tre'Davious White is okay. He's not, Pro Bowl All Pro Tre'Davious White because of the injuries, right? And I don't look at the secondary and I think amazing things. I think Dorian Williams has struggled this year. I think Taylor Rapp, former Ram, has struggled. I think Cole Bishop has struggled. So again, you can throw on this Bills team. Spencer Rattler found this out. The Saints found this out. So I do expect the Patriots to push, and I'm really curious, in this one about how often we see, what is this backfield going to look like for the New England Patriots? Because you can run against the Bills, right? Yeah. Alvin Kamara could run, obviously Derrick Henry. You can run against the Bills, but the question is, who is it? Is Travion Henderson? What is his workload increased last week? He had his first career touchdown. Do we start to see more of him? See, I feel like we need to. I feel like that's what this offense is lacking. And I'm a Ramondre Stevenson new fantasy owner that just traded for him. And I'm telling you right now, they need to get Stevenson involved more. So, or not Stevenson, Henderson. So that's just the reality of it. I think they need to, get him involved. Obviously, you mentioned the special teams unit, Antonio Gibson and Marcus Jones, the guys that, those guys are doing their things as returners. I think this will be a close game, but.
And Matt Collins.
Matt
Collins has been a former Bill.
Yeah, well, you're right. And so it could be interesting. I'm still going to go with the Bills, though. I think they just got too much.
Yeah, same here, bro. The Bills are looking beastly right now, and Patriots they're close, but I don't know.
Maybe later in the year when the Patriots are rocking those, I think they have the best rivalry uniforms in my opinion. The baby blue ones. So
those are fire. Yeah, I like the Bills though. I like the Bills. Those are my favorite. I'm not gonna lie.
They're your favorite? Okay.
Bills and Rams.
I did like the Rams. I like the Patriots. The Jets. Just I don't know how you make an entire uniform based on a manhole, but anyway. That's what it is, man. It's literally a sewer cover. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, nasty. Cardinals had a good one too, Jay. The Cardinals was decent as well.
And it just looked like skid marks all over the place.
And that's how they played. Sadly, I know Marvin Harrison Jr. had a tough day, but it was a long day for the Cardinals, my guy.
Oh man, not great. We wrap up the primetime games with a banger. Chiefs Jaguars. Feels like they're always playing in the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But Jaguars, Chiefs, it's in Jacksonville. This is going to be a really interesting game. The Chiefs just had a huge win against the Ravens, but now we're wondering, are the Ravens any good? Is that even a huge win anymore? And if it's not a huge win anymore, then the Chiefs don't really have any huge wins. And you look at the Jaguars, and the Jaguars look pretty impressive. I mean, the one loss they had was against the Bengals, and I'll always stand by this. It's a lot easier for a backup quarterback to come in knowing that the defense couldn't game plan for him. So when Joe Burrow went down, Jake Browning was able to cook. Jake Browning with a full week of preparation, getting to watch him, all of his tendencies, his mannerisms, teams are picking him apart now. So I think the Jaguars just, unfortunately, if they played Jake Browning and had a full week of preparation, I think it's a blowout. But in that game, I thought he stepped up and give him his props. But this Jaguars team could be 4-0. And so I'm just saying, I'm not a Trevor Lawrence guy. And I do think that's my one hang up about this team. But you look at that defense, you're a linebacker. You had to love what you saw out of Devin freaking Lloyd on Sunday. He was everywhere. Wherever the ball was, I don't know, but it was in his hand. It's like every time, right? So just they're a fun defense to watch. Armstead, right? You got Josh Hines Allen, you got Trayvon Walker. Foye Oluokun is one of the best tacklers I think I've ever seen. And then you look at, Jordan Lewis, one of the best tackling corners out there. Tyson Campbell. They're good, man. That defense is well coached. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree, Jake. And you talked about this Chiefs team. I'm going to the other side of this Chiefs team. Xavier Worthy's back. Juju Smith-Schuster's catching the football. The offense, I think, is clicking on all cylinders. I think this was Patty's best game. to be honest.
It was
Not this season, but then also think about last year, even in the playoffs, my guy, like Super Bowl game, he was shitting the bed. So, I mean, you just think about some of the past couple games that Patrick Mahomes has had. This has been one of the better performances against the Ravens, against that tough team. And then you think about the defense. I mean, Jake, Steve Spagnuolo, he had Lamar Jackson in clamps, my guy. Like people were asking, like, hey, why isn't Lamar doing this? Why isn't he doing that? But I just think that defense is so strong. It took away a lot of things for Lamar Jackson. And I think they're going to do the same thing again this week. I know Trevor Lawrence is coming up there. Travis Etienne's coming back from a big offensive day, Jake. He ran the ball really well against the 49ers. And we talked about it the week before. We was like, oh, the 49ers, they're going to crush the Jags. I don't know if they'll be able to run the ball against this defense with Salah back there. Fred Warner running around from sideline to sideline. Psych. Travis Etienne, man, he balled out. That team looks really, really good. I just don't know, Jake, if they'll be able to do it against the Chiefs. I think this defense is too strong. Travis Kelce starting to figure things out. He's catching the ball, Jake. He's running around and making plays. And so I think that this Chiefs team gets it done. I wouldn't say it would be a close one because of that Ravens matchup was so wide, that gap. And Lamar went out, I think, Jake, like the third, fourth quarter. So it was still a blowout before that. And so I got the Chiefs in this one. 34 to the Jaguars is 21 because that defense is just too good.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think the Chiefs are a solid team. I like them a lot more if this is in Kansas City. I'm going to take Jacksonville.
Okay. It's going to be hot.
Man, this AFC South is starting to look scary, my guy. Between them and the Colts, and if the Texans show, well, that's a big if. But yeah, man, AFC South looks nuts right now between those two teams. The Colts and Jaguars might be fighting at 10, 11 wins. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm going to go Jacksonville 21-17. Again, my biggest concern is 100% Trevor Lawrence. 100%. But I like just about everything else. And I don't dislike Trevor Lawrence. I'm just, if you're looking at like the Lions, for instance, I think Jared Goff is good within what they're asking him to do. But if you ask him to go outside of his comfort zone, he looks like a completely different quarterback. When he's pressured, he looks like a completely different quarterback. I can't trust that. I don't get like fourth quarter Matthew Stafford. If the Jaguars need that fourth quarter Matthew Stafford drive, the Chiefs have that with Patrick Mahomes, right? The Bills have that with Josh Allen. The Bengals have that when Joe Burrow's healthy.
Man.
But the Jaguars don't have that with Lawrence. They're going to have to run the football, and they're going to have to be balanced. They're not going to be able to have those crazy, only 5 guys in the league can make these throws type of throws. So I do expect them to manage the game well. I think Travis Etienne will be able to get going on the ground, and I'm expecting eventually at some point we're going to see Travis Hunter get going. This could be the week he does.
Yeah. And also I'll talk about this too as well. Similar to the Patriots going against the Bills, their special teams have to click. This Jaguars team, P. Washington had an 87-yard punt return, which was great. They're going to have that this week as well. They have to click on every cylinder, defense, offense, and the special teams. That's the only way I think that decent teams, can beat world-class teams. You have to have every phase doing their thing and create turnovers. That's the only way that they beat the 49ers, because they had multiple turnovers that game, Jake, and it worked out for them nicely.
Yeah, and this next
4
game,
turnovers.
To leave the premier game, to leave the primetime games, we'll go into the best of Sunday. Broncos taking on the Eagles. And as much as I want to give the Broncos a lot of love here, I can't. I just can't. Bo Nix, I think, is going to have a really hard time against this defense. I think he's going to have a terribly hard time. Bo Nix, I've had an issue with his decision-making. And I think people will kind of give him a pass because last night he looked really good and they were clicking. That Bengals defense isn't any good right now. They're just not. And the defense would have been something if Joe Burrow was healthy. Right now, that offense isn't doing anything. So if the offense isn't doing anything, defense is on the field the whole time, it's going to make your offense look a little bit better going up against a defense that's on the field the entire time. So that said, I think the Eagles are going to be one of the toughest tests he has all season long. It's in Philly. That's a hostile environment. Eagles just won a huge game in Tampa. Even though we all know that, what's his face? I have to throw it out there. No, running back.
Oh yes, Bucky Irvin fumbled.
Yeah, that wasn't a fumble.
Quarter.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't a fumble.
Okay, got it. You're like, nah.
His wrist was down. That was ridiculous, man.
And he went and scored on the next play, though. Nice pass play over the top, wide open, went and scored. So he got his lick back. But, yo, Jake, I'm not going to lie, though. The Eagles, similar to last year, right? We talked about the Chiefs last year. We were like, oh, they're winning by slim margins. What is this? What is that? Same thing for the Eagles this year. They just got away from the Buccaneers. They were whooping the Buccaneers' tail, Jake, most of the game. But the fourth quarter, Baker Mayfield had a chance to come back and win it. And same thing with the Rams. They had them beat pretty much at half. So there are a lot of things, but I realize with this Eagles team, man, they figure out a way to make it happen. Saquon Barkley, this offense is dynamic. They weren't dynamic against the Rams, but this game, Jake, they were doing different things like the tush push, right? They think Jalen Hurts is about to get it, and then they flip it off to Saquon on the side. They're doing different things, and it's time for A.J. Brown to go off at some point, my guy. Like, A.J. Brown hasn't been getting fed the rock. People are talking about him hitting the trade block. What does that look like? But I think he'll go off this game. He'll have a good matchup against Patrick Surtain in that defense. You talk about Nick Benito, Jake. I'll never forget it. Week 1, you picked Nick Benito to be the guy. He's been the guy. Baller. I mean, dude, such a baller. I think he had 1.5 sacks last game. He's been going crazy. Jake, but what I will say, though, is you mentioned Bo Nix. Not that impressive. What I will say, though, he has a great running back in J.K. Dobbins back there. J.K. Dobbins ran for 101 yards. I got him on my fantasy team. He's been showing your boy love. He's been doing a good job. Marvin Mims as well, really stepping up. Some of these young guys, I think Marvin Mims and Quentin Johnston came out around the same time. And their first couple of years, they didn't really do well. But then now you're seeing, oh, no wonder why you guys got picked in the top 3 rounds. You guys are looking really good. Courtland Sutton as well. Jake went 5 for 6 last game and a touchdown for 81 yards. So the offense is clicking a little bit. And then thankfully that Broncos defense can get it done. But Jake, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to call the Broncos in this one. It has to crack at some point, Jake. It has to. The Eagles, they got away with the Rams, got away with the Buccaneers. So wow. I'm gonna go out on a limb on this one and say that the Broncos get it done. Bo Nix is gonna be running for his life, right? They had Baker Mayfield frustrated with 2 turnovers. Jake, I'll say this: if Bo Nix takes care of the football, I got the Broncos winning this one against the Eagles. I'm gonna go 31-28 because they're gonna shut down A.J. Brown. He's gonna be frustrated. Saquon's gonna have maybe 70 yards rushing, and I think the Broncos get it done.
I'm going to go with Eagles 31-19.
You said it's going to be a blowout a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I just don't trust Bo Nix right now. I don't. I don't know. Could they get the run game going? Yes, I absolutely think they could. With Dobbins, with RJ Harvey, they absolutely could get the run game going. Mm-hmm. The passing game, the way Cooper DeJean is playing, the way Quinion Mitchell is playing, right? I think the defensive front, although the Broncos have a good offensive line, but the defensive front could create some problems. I don't see it. I really don't see them.
Put a pin in it, Jake. Put it next week. We're going to come back to this game.
I don't see the upset, Cam. I think this is going to be one of those ones where
turn the TV off.
Yeah, turn the TV off. Turn the TV. Yeah, one of those. Yeah, just get this off my screen. Yeah. What is it? Tinder swipe left? Yeah, swipe left. I don't want to see this.
That's hilarious.
So much for the premier games, but this one is a premier game. Speaking of which, Buccaneers headed to Seattle. Cam, you're gonna be mad at me. I think the Seahawks are winning this game.
Jake, that Seattle Seahawks defensive line, bro, like they're putting clamps on people, my guy. Like that Seattle Seahawks defense is looking really good. Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, he started figuring it out a little bit later, but he had a tough day. I mean, that Seattle Seahawks team, bro, they were taking the football away, Jake. They were running the ball. Kenneth Walker was looking insane. Like I mentioned before, JSN, I mean, he's catching the ball. He made me believe that Ohio State is wide receiver U. Terry McLaurin actually did him in his conversation with Deebo Samuel. They talked about, they listed the receivers. But, Jake, I like the Seattle Seahawks as well on this one, even though I'm a Buccaneer guy, Jake. If I were to bet money, I would bet money on the Seattle Seahawks. But I'm going to pick the Buccaneers because I'm a former Buccaneer. You know what I mean?
I see you.
Yeah, Chris Godwin's back. Chris Godwin's back, so I think that offense is going to click a little bit more. Ebuka, of course, he's finding the end zone. That threaded pass that Baker Mayfield threw against like 2 defensive backs, he caught it, and he went to the end zone, Jake, and it turned around on him. That guy, he's special.
Yeah, no, he is incredibly smart. I don't know if you ever saw that one. Oh man, there was that one mic'd up video when Ohio State won it all.
Oh yeah, he called game. He's like, "Yo, give me the ball."
Well, yeah, but he did it in like, all right, so this guy, he's showing this leverage, and like he broke it down. He was like, so he's not going to be here on this play. He's like, yeah, we got this.
Yeah,
and like just the way I'm like, all right, I see you. You know,
He
wide receivers get kind of the diva moniker, not him. This dude is just a student of the game. It's why when he was coming out, the first name that came to mind, he's just Robert Woods. Like he reminds me so much of Robert Woods. It's crazy. I think I have a chance. I believe he has a huge chance to be a better player. But man, when people forget when Robert Woods was in his heyday, I mean, he was really, really good.
Really good.
You could argue number 1 receiver level good. So, yeah, you know, that's you're getting there. But yeah, I love Baker, but he's had some issues in Seattle. You know, and I just think Seattle, that game against the 49ers was such a fluky game. If they played right now, I think they'd beat the 49ers up pretty bad if it was in Seattle. I think Seattle has an argument to be a top 10 team in the league right now. And so I think they win this game 27-20. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think Sam Darnold, when push comes to shove, he's going to be able to go the distance. And Baker's playing without, you know, his right tackle right now. You know, Baker's playing with some injuries without Mike Evans, his right tackle. I mean, there's injuries, and I think Seattle is going to be able to exploit that. You talk about that defensive line. You know, you talk about guys like Boye Mafe. You know, I don't know if DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be able to play, but the way Byron Young. Or not Byron Young, Byron Murphy has played. Byron Murphy has been looking like what he was supposed to be as a first-round pick. So there's just a lot to like with Seattle right now, and I think, you know, McDonald just knows what he's doing. He can push all the right buttons. So,
yeah, and turnovers. 27-20. Okay, I like this one to be a closer game, Jake. I'm going to go 21-24. And the reason why I'll put money towards I want the Bucs to win, of course. I want the Bucs to win, but I would put money towards the Seattle Seahawks. I think they're going to force more turnovers. The Buccaneers, Jake, I think only had 2 turnovers last week against the Eagles, but it should have been 4 of them. One of them, I think, was called back or something like that. And then the other was a punt block against Riley Dixon, the former Syracuse guy, got the punt block, and they scored a touchdown on that. So the Buccaneers, I think, are showing some gaps on their punt team. I think that's going to be an issue for the Seattle Seahawks team. And then also just that defensive back room. I mean, I know Tyreek Woolen, he's kind of figuring things out a little bit, but they got a good defensive back room for that Seattle Seahawks team. And I think their running backs are Zach Charbonnet. I mean, their running back room is looking solid, bro. So I got the Seattle Seahawks winning this one by 3.
No, I like that. I mean, I think it's going to be a really close game. Probably going to be one of the games of the week, if not the game of the week. So
agree.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Commanders Chargers. This one is interesting. You know, I don't know if Jayden Daniels going to play. It's early in the week, so it's hard for us to know. I think Mariota's, played a good quarterback. Probably should have beaten the Falcons. That was really inexcusable. I got the Chargers in this one, Cam, 28-24. I right now, knowing that Joe Alt isn't out for the year, I think they're going to play really hard, and I don't think their spirits are broken. That was almost very bad. It's a high ankle. It's going to be a problem, but he is going to return at some point. So now you just try to survive, and you're at SoFi. You're at home. I think the Chargers do survive. I think they have enough weapons. And like I said, this Commanders defense, man, you can throw on them. I know Dan Quinn isn't happy about it, but tough shit. You can throw on this team, So I think this is the Ladd McConkey game where, he has 150 yards and 10 catches and maybe 2 touchdowns. Because now those long developing plays aren't going to be there. So anybody that's Quentin Johnston, he's going to have those deep balls. I don't think so. That's the difference, Cam. Now you have to adjust. your game plan's hard. When your game plan is having those deep balls in the arsenal for a Justin Herbert, it's hard to then adjust on the fly. Now they have a whole week of preparation knowing that you don't have Joe Alt. And keep in mind, he was playing left tackle because Rashawn Slater's out for the season. Yeah. Now you have to hit them with the small stuff, the short stuff. And who but, Ladd McConkey is better at the short stuff, right? So I think they're going to go after him, and I think he's going to have a huge game, and I don't think the Commanders will be able to stop him. But it'll be a fun game, and it'll be 28-24 Chargers.
Yeah, I like that 28-24 Chargers. Jake, I'm going to go the Chargers as well on this one. I think they got embarrassed last week. They got embarrassed, my guy. I mean, it was
the rookie ate their lunch.
But to be fair, though, that defense for the Giants, they were going crazy. Brian Burns had that dope celebration, that Spider-Man celebration with the to close out the game. That was pretty sick, my guy. But like I mentioned, it's because this offense was operating as if they had Joe Alt, and they have to change things up. You see Justin Herbert, he's sitting back in that pocket, not getting touched at all. I think this game they might have to get more play action going on, right? Get Amarion Hampton running one way, Herbert coming out the other, and finding Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen in different places. But they're going to have to change up their ball game. And Jake, to be fair, going for that Washington football team, the Falcons probably played the best game of the year so far. Michael Penix Jr. looked great, Jake. Drake London, 8 for 10, 110 yards. I mean, he was going off. I said, wow. When I was taking my notes, this might be the best game of the year for him. Jake, he was catching the football on the sideline, in the end zone, pretty much everywhere you needed to be. Drake London was there. He did a good job. Kyle Pitts finally came along that game. He went 5 for 5 for 70 yards. And so Bijan Robinson, I mean, crazy jump cuts, catching out of the backfield. So Washington had their hands full, and I think they'll have their hands full again this week. You talked about Marcus Mariota getting things done. He was able to find his receiver in Deebo Samuels a lot more, which was great. Luke McCaffrey stepping up for Terry McLaurin being out. And so Luke McCaffrey also showing up, Jake, in the special teams game. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough for this one, Jake. Like I mentioned, the defense for the Chargers, too good, Jake, too good. I think this team's going to figure out a way to win this one. So I got the Chargers winning this one, Jake, 31-28. It's going to be a tight one, but I think the Chargers win this one because they got embarrassed last week.
Yeah, and watch out for Tuli Tuipulotu because, I mean, this offensive line, I keep saying Connerly is getting beat. Well, Tuli Tuipulotu is on a tear. He looks great, and with Khalil Mack dealing with injury, that's very much welcomed for the Chargers. So, 28-24. We move on. Texans, Ravens. I think we can speed it up here, But, yeah. I mean, Absolutely. Now that we know Lamar Jackson isn't playing, this game doesn't feel as fun. This feels like it's going to be a close game, though, for whatever reason. C.J. Stroud and the Texans' offense is nowhere near as good as it should be. They have plenty of name talent, but how much talent do they currently have? I mean, that's really the question. The offensive line, well, it's a reminder, folks. If you have a nice group of wide receivers and running backs and you got a good quarterback, doesn't freaking matter if you don't have an offensive line. Yeah. And the Texans, man, they played their Galaxy brains. They actually played reverse Uno with their offensive line. I've never seen anything like it. They built an offensive line that wasn't quite good, but wasn't bad. And then they dismantled it on their own and they made it bad. I've never seen anything like that in all my years watching football, Cam. Atrocious, absolutely atrocious. And it's cost them, but I don't think it'll cost them this game. I have the Texans beating the Ravens. I believe it's going to be Cooper Rush playing quarterback for the Ravens. Yeah, I think he's a solid backup, but I'll take C.J. Stroud, even though he's struggling. I think the Texans, you can move the ball on the Ravens. The Ravens defense hasn't impressed me, and you can run the ball on the Ravens. I'm expecting Nick Chubb and Woody Marks to get things going in the run game, and so I'll take the Texans 23-21.
Yeah, Jake, you said it. Woody Marks, he's been going off. He was 17 for 69 in the run game, and then he was 4 for 5 for 50 yards in the pass game. I put in my notes, rising star. He's making people miss. He's looking for that home run. And the fact that he's, I don't want to say outplaying Nick Chubb, but he is outplaying one of the better running backs that we've seen come through the NFL in Chubb. So, unfortunately, those injuries have hurt him. And we talked about it last show, but it's feeling like a Todd Gurley-esque type of experience where after he gets hurt, it's like a slow downhill move. I don't know if these Georgia running backs, man, they They have great college careers. They start off well in the NFL, and the things kind of slow down for them, sadly. But I like the Texans this one, Jake. I want to go Texans for this one, 24 to 21. I think it's going to be a close one. Nico Collins, I like Nico moving the football, catching the football. Actually, he's been a big target. I think he's one of the best offensive weapons that the Texans have. And then we talk about the Ravens, Jake. It's just been sad to see, bro. Like Derrick Henry fumbling the football 3 games. I mean, of course, Lamar Jackson hurting his hamstring because he's running for his damn life against the Chiefs. I mean, dude, I know he's a runner, but he's running on plays where he shouldn't have to run. And so his hamstrings at one point were like, dude, we're exhausted. So Cooper Rush, he's going to do the best that he can. But I think that Texans defense, we talked about it, Jake, that for the Rams game, the first game of the season, that Texans defense was bringing it. Danielle Hunter, you got guys out there that are hunting the football, then Stingley on the outside. I mean, these guys can play some good ball. So I like the Texans winning this one as well.
Yeah, so rapid fire here. Lions, Bengals. I got 33-16 Lions. What say you?
Let's check. I got Lions 40 to the Bengals 7 on this one. Amon-Ra St. Brown goes off. I think those running backs go to town, bro. It's not going to be fair.
My friend Blaine said this, and, I can't I totally agree with it. I can't stop thinking about it. If the Bengals don't call about Kirk Cousins, they're idiots. How do you not do that?
Yeah, or Jameis, somebody like
Jameis, Cousins, Stetson Bennett at this point. Who the hell knows, right? Somebody.
Yeah. Please,
but yeah,
do something.
I don't know.
It's tough, Jake. It's so tough to see because I had Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow on my fantasy team, bro, and like
you're done.
I'm done. I'm done. The Bengals are done. It's all done.
Unless they trade for Andy Dalton. Reunion. Red rifle. There we go. So, all right, rapid fire to end the show. Raiders, Colts. I got the Colts 31-17. They look good, man. They lost the game. They look good.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor, he has to go off this game because he didn't go off the past game. But Colts, I got the Colts on this one, Jake. Danny Dimes looking good. I got 38-24 for that Colts Raiders game. Yeah, Geno threw 3 interceptions. I mean, he had a tough day this past game.
Yeah, and I see in the comment sections, the Lions keep playing horrible teams. Only good team they played, the Packers. They got cooked. Hey, don't look at me. I'm not picking the Bengals. I mean, they might be the worst team in football right now.
Yeah. Or the Panthers.
Yeah, well, or the Jets. Speaking of the Jets, Cowboys or Jets here. I told you it's going to be a barn burner at MetLife. I'm going Cowboys 33-27. I think Dak Prescott is going to outduel Justin Fields, but I think Fields will have the better numbers.
Yep, I like the Cowboys in this one, Jake, 34-27. I mean, the Cowboys are starting to cook a little bit, Jake. They're starting to figure it out after getting beat by the Giants. I think they're starting to click, so I got the Cowboys winning this one.
And they got a T for tie.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Titans versus Cardinals. Cardinals get back on the high side with a 26-13 win.
26. I got the Cardinals on this one, Jake. 24-21. Marvin Harrison Jr. figures it out. I was about to say the F-bomb, but I can't say that here. He'll figure out this game. He'll get clicking soon.
Yeah, I know you can. Dolphins, Panthers. I'm going to take the Panthers in the toilet bowl, 20-17.
Okay, Jake, I'm going to go the Dolphins on this one. I know Tyreek Hill is out, but I got Dolphins on this one, 27 to the Panthers 21.
And then last but not least, we got the Giants taking on the Saints. And as much as I want to give credit where credit's due to Jackson Dart because he made me look like a fool, I don't think he's going to make me look like a fool against the Saints defense. I think there's too much there. I think they're going to give him fits. It's in New Orleans. Give me the Saints 23-20.
Okay, I like the Giants on this one, Jake. 21-17. That Giants defense is clicking as well. Brian Burns and those guys are rocking and rolling. So I like the Giants on this one.
Well, that's going to do it. Cam, it's been a wild year for bad teams. They don't get normally swallowed up like they have in the past. We've seen a lot of Giants and Saints just sticking around, hanging in there, and even playing spoiler to a degree. So that game will be interesting. And the Dolphins and Panthers, there's a lot of interesting games. Nothing is more interesting, though, than the idea that you're going to get the Chiefs, Jaguars on Monday Night Football. You're going to get the Rams, 49ers on Thursday night. And we get to see, Dylan Gabriel make his debut. So every single week, it's a new storyline. Those are the storylines. And of course, Buccaneers, Seahawks just has me very excited. So can't wait. But guys,
Jake,
be sure to
quick. How many block kicks will we see this week? Because I feel like that's a storyline in itself, bro. We see so many block kicks this year. How many do you think? If you give a number, how many kicks will we see get blocked this week?
I'm gonna say we get 1.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say 4. I'm gonna say 4 block
kicks. 4? Oh
yeah,
man.
I'm gonna say 4, Jake, because they have been popping up everywhere. Teams have been winning games off these block kicks. So I'm gonna say 4, including punts as well.
The special teams man right here is rolling, I almost said rolling in his grave, but he's alive. He won't be alive with the way that they're playing special teams.
Yeah. I got 4 blocks, bro. It's been too crazy of a year so far with these block kicks and scoring and winning games. So I got 4 block kicks, including punts this week.
Hey, man, if you ever needed a job, I'm sure a lot of those special teams units would be killing for you to come back.
Yeah, you got to show love to the specialist, my guy. You got to show love.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this is why they're important, right? No, people just are like, yeah. No, this is what they mean by all 3 phases. If you can't play all 3 phases, you don't win football games. It's that simple.
Toast. Yep.
So, all right. Well, that's going to do it. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us for another week. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Tell everyone that you know that you watch your favorite NFL show is Off the Edge. Be sure to follow my guy at Cameron Lynch 50. Follow me at JK Bogan. And we'll see you guys next week for another episode of Off the Edge.
Whoa. Peace.